The 2016 NBA draft started off slow with the top 10 picks. None of them really proved to be anything super special. Ben Simmons missed his first year. Brandon Ingram took a couple years to develop. Jaylen Brown had a slow start, and Buddy Hield didn't really thrive in New Orleans. So over the past couple years, it's actually been showing us that the draft class wasn't that bad. So today, we are going to be redrafting the 2016 draft class from picks 14 to 1. If you guys do enjoy redrafts, I would like to make a series out of this. So if we get 1,000 likes, I will pick another draft to redraft, or you can let me know in the comments and like a comment you see so it gets a lot of likes, and the one with the most likes, I'll make the next redraft that draft class. So yeah, I'm not going to take into consideration like team fits. I'm just going to go best players that I think from 14 to 1. We're going to be descending this. This is just my personal opinion, and let's get into this. So in the 2016 draft, the Chicago Bulls had the 14th pick, and they select Denzel Valentine at the time, but that is not going to be the same pick. So with the 14th pick, they're going to select Ivica Zubac. Now, Zubac's 4-year career has actually been pretty solid so far. He's averaging around 7 points, 5 rebounds for his career, but he's shown that he could be a very nice backup center, even a starting center who's not going to play a lot of minutes, but he could definitely be on the floor for around 15 to 20 minutes a night. He's usually up there in true shooting percentage. He's currently at a 65% true shooting percentage, which is really good. And he is a solid rebounder. And now I don't know why the Lakers traded him for Mike Muscala. They were looking for more of a stretch center that could shoot the 3, but it didn't really make sense at all. And he did receive a second contract with the Clippers. He'll be making $6.4 million this year, $7 million next year, $7.5 million in 2021, and then $7.5 million again in 2022. With the 13th pick in the draft, the Suns took Georgios Papagiannis. They won't be taking him this time. They will be taking Kris Dunn, who went 5th originally. So Kris Dunn has actually had an incredible defensive year in 2019-2020 for the Chicago Bulls coming off the bench. He's playing around 20 minutes a night. He's a solid rebounding point guard, but defense is his main strong suit. He's averaging 2.1 steals this year, while 3 assists and 3 rebounds off the bench, which is really nice, and then less than a turnover. He's never really been too big of a turnover point guard besides 2017-2018. Kris Dunn was part of that Jimmy Butler trade back in 2017. He hasn't lived up to the hype as the number 5 pick in the draft, and he was quote-unquote the best point guard in that draft, and Minnesota thought they were getting a franchise point guard, but that wasn't the case. But I still have Kris Dunn going in the lottery, mainly for his defense, and yeah, so the Suns are going to take him here at 13 in the redraft. Coming in at pick 12, the Utah Jazz selected Torian Prince, but he was later traded in a 3-team trade to the Atlanta Hawks that involved Jeff Teague and George Hill. But yeah, I have the Utah Jazz at pick 12 taking Malik Beasley. Malik Beasley hasn't been anything crazy in his 4-year tenure as an NBA player. He did have a really solid 2018-19 season, but he's definitely regressed this season, but that's due to a minute regression in the starting rotation, or in the rotation in general for the Denver Nuggets. He's shooting 32% on 2s this year, 40% on 3s. He definitely still has promise. He's only 23. He'll be a restricted free agent like pretty much every one of these guys after this season. He's not a standout defensive player, but on the offensive end, he has shown some promise. This season hasn't gone great for him, and that's why I kind of have him low here at 12. He'll be a restricted free agent in the offseason. If he keeps this up, I don't think Denver will bring him back. But yeah, I have him in the redraft at pick 12 here to the Utah Jazz. Coming in at 11, this was the Orlando Magic pick, and they took Domantas Sabonis, but it will not be Sabonis. It'll be somebody that I just mentioned, and it's going to be Torian Prince. Torian Prince originally went at 12, but I'm going to have him here at pick 11. He just received a nice 2-year, $30 million contract extension with the Brooklyn Nets. He's currently 25, and he's had a very solid NBA career so far, posting double-digit scoring for the last 3 years, more than 4 rebounds for 2 of his 4 years in the NBA, and he's known as a really good defensive player. I wouldn't say he's one of the best defenders in the league, but he's definitely a solid defender you'd like to have in your NBA rotation. He's also shooting at a career best 39% from 3 this season, while posting over 38% twice previously to this year's season. He's a career 81% free throw shooter, which is really solid. So he's an efficient offensive player, mainly, not in high volume though, but he is a nice 3-and-D player, and he's going to come at 11 here on the redraft. Coming in at number 10 is another Brooklyn Nets player, and that is Caris LeVert. Now, at pick 10, it was the Milwaukee Bucks, and they took Thon Maker. Caris LeVert originally went at 20 to the Pacers, but he was traded for Thaddeus Young. LeVert has only played over 70 games once in his first 3 seasons. He had a really good start to the 2018-19 season. We kind of thought he was going to be in the most improved player combo, but he got hurt, and then like last year, he is hurt currently with thumb surgery, and he's going to be out 4 to 6 weeks. He was averaging 17 points before he went down on 36% from 3, which is really solid. 42% from the field, though, because he's only 40 44% on twos, which is pretty solid though. He's a solid rebounder for a guard, averaging around 4 rebounds a night, and he's actually a solid passer as well, averaging around 4 assists a night. He's nothing crazy as a defensive player, but he's definitely a player you would like to have in your starting rotation. So Caris LeVert is going to jump up from 20 to 10 here, and he's going to be selected by the Milwaukee Bucks. Coming in at 9 to the Toronto Raptors was somebody that was drafted at 29 by the San Antonio Spurs, and that is Dante Murray. Now, we know that Jakob Poeltl was selected here with the 9th pick, later traded in the Kawhi Leonard deal. But yeah, Murray did tear his ACL, so he did not play in 2018-19. So he only has 2 full years under his belt so far. He hasn't been anything crazy as a NBA offensive player. He's not a three-point shooter. His best attribute on the offensive end is when he's in transition, but his main calling card is defense. He's a fantastic defensive player before injury and after injury. That's mainly why I have him in the top 10, is because of his defense. He's not really going to be much of an offensive player, at least scoring the ball. He averages around 7 rebounds and 4.5 assists so far this season, and he started 12 games. But yeah, I think this is definitely a rehab year though. I'm not going to take too much into the season into consideration, but I think he's going to continue to improve as a player, and I have him coming in at 9 to the Toronto Raptors. So at 8, the Sacramento Kings selected Marquise Chris, but they did trade him to the Phoenix Suns. But I'm going to have the Sacramento Kings at 8 taking Domantas Sabonis, who originally went 11th to the Orlando Magic. Sabonis was traded twice in his career, once for Serge Ibaka, that I don't know why Orlando did that deal, and then again in the Paul George trade, but he has proven that he's one of the best players in this draft class. He's averaging a career high in both points per game and rebounds per game in 2019, averaging 18.5 points and 14 rebounds this season. He's also a solid passing big man, averaging around 3.5 assists a night. He's not much of a floor spacer. He doesn't really take threes at all, but he is efficient on twos, shooting 50% from there, and he gets to the line about 4 times a night, which is nice to see. He's actually been a solid defensive player this year, and he's one of the league's best rebounders. I think that the Sacramento Kings would be more than happy to have him here at pick 8, and he's definitely had a lot better of a career than Marquise Chris. So coming in at pick 7th was a player that went 6th to the Pelicans, and that is going to be the Denver Nuggets selecting Buddy Hield. Now, like Sabonis, Buddy Hield was also traded in a pretty blockbuster trade in his career in the DeMarcus Cousins move. Now, he wasn't anything crazy for the Pelicans, only averaging about 8 points for them in 20 minutes a night, but when he got traded to Sacramento, that's when he turned things up. In the 25 games he played for the Kings in 2016-17, he averaged 15 points and shot 43% from 3 on 5.5 attempts a night. He didn't have a great 2017-18, but 2018-19 is where he earned his money. He's one of the league's best shooter, especially as a 3-point shooter. He's incredible from down the arc. Above the break in the corners, he is great. He's not a great defensive player, but he's damn good of an offensive player. Like I said, one of the best shooters in the league, and I believe that the Denver Nuggets, even though they are going to miss out on Jamal Murray, they're going to be very happy with Buddy Hield in a redraft at pick 7. So with the 6th pick here, I do have the Pelicans, who took Buddy Hield originally, who we just talked about. They're going to take Jaylen Brown here with the 6th pick, and Jaylen Brown originally went 3rd to the Boston Celtics. Jaylen Brown just received his rookie extension, and he's having a really good start to the 2019 season, averaging 18.5 points and 7 rebounds a night while shooting 35% from 3. He has a positive effective field goal percentage, being at 52%. He's getting to the line about 4 times a night, shooting 72% from there. Jaylen Brown is also a really good defensive player. I wouldn't say he's anything crazy, but he's definitely a solid defensive player you would like to have in your starting rotation, and he's proving that he could be something on the offensive end as well. He improved a lot from his rookie year to his sophomore year, but then definitely took a step back when Kyrie came back in year 3. But in year 4, though, he's having a really good start to the season, and Celtics fans are really happy about. So in a redraft, I do have him dropping 3 spots, though, from 3 to 6. But I don't think the Pelicans would be complaining on getting Jaylen Brown. So at pick 5, I do have the Minnesota Timberwolves taking another point guard. They did take Chris Dunn originally. I have them taking Jamal Murray, who went 7th to the Nuggets. I would say Jamal Murray has definitely been the 2nd best point guard in this draft. He got paid by the Denver Nuggets in this past offseason. He'll be making 29 mil, then 31, then 33, then 36, then $38 million in 2024. He's been pretty consistent these last 3 seasons. He's averaging a career high at the moment, 18.5 points a night. He's not a crazy passer because he was more of a shooting guard in college, but he is undersized, so he's been playing more of the 1, and he is averaging 5 assists a night. Now, I wouldn't say he's too undersized. He is 6'4", so I do retract that statement. He's averaging 4.5 rebounds, so he's a solid rebounder at his position. He really wasn't crazy efficient last year, and he isn't too efficient this year, but he is shooting 37% from 3, which you like to see. He's a really good free throw shooter. He's a career 88% shooter from there. He's not a stellar defender, but he has been pretty good overall for the Denver Nuggets, and I do think the Minnesota Timberwolves would be very happy with taking Jamal Murray over Chris Dunn. So at 4, the Phoenix Suns took Dragan Bender, which we know isn't a great pick, and it was probably the worst pick here in this draft. I have them taking in a redraft somebody that went in the second round at pick 36, and that is Malcolm Brogdon. So yeah, honestly, I guess Jamal Murray would be the 3rd best point guard in this draft because yeah, Malcolm Brogdon is going to jump up 33 spots because of his breakout season for the Pacers this year. He's one of the best free throw shooters in the game, and he's been super efficient going into the season, but obviously with more volume, he was going to drop his efficiency, but he's still been a solid volume scorer. He's averaging 19 points and 8 assists as the #1 option in Indiana. He's shooting 46 from the field, 30 from 3, 98% from the line, which is crazy. He's taking 15 shots a night, which is a career high. And we all know that he's been a crazy good defender in his NBA career. I would love him on my team as a primary perimeter defender. And he was the Rookie of the Year from this draft class. And he's going to be the biggest jump here, going from pick 36 to pick 4, excuse me, so that's 32 spots. I believe I said 33 before, but yeah, I have the Phoenix Suns taking Malcolm Brogdon to pair up with Devin Booker at pick 4. Moving over to the top 3 now you guys could probably put, by process of elimination, who is left. So at 3 was the Boston Celtics, and I have them taking somebody that went 2nd overall in Brandon Ingram. Now, if you want to put Brandon Ingram at pick 2, that is perfectly fine by me. You'll see who I have at 2 that you might want to put him over. But yeah, the Boston Celtics, we know, originally took Jaylen Brown, but we mentioned him before. Brandon Ingram originally went 2nd overall to the LA Lakers. Now, he wasn't anything crazy for the Lakers in his first 3 years there. He was traded for Anthony Davis in the summer, and he is breaking out this season. Averaging 25 points a night, 7.5 rebounds, 4 assists, with an effective field goal percentage of 58%. He's shooting 54% on 2s. He's shooting 50% from mid-range, which is crazy. But yeah, Brandon Ingram is kind of showing that he could be a #2 option on a championship team this year. And he's only 22 years old, which is crazy. He's definitely had the highest improvement from anybody that we've mentioned so far, and he's going to come in at number 3 on this redraft. Now, coming in at 2 was the LA Lakers, and they are going to take a clutch client here with the 2nd pick, who originally went #1 overall, and that is Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons, we know, originally went #1 overall to the Philadelphia 76ers. He didn't play in his rookie season, but he's had a very good NBA career so far. He's one of the league's best passers, and he is a 6'10 point guard. I wouldn't call him the modern-day Magic Johnson, but he definitely plays like it. He finally hit a 3-pointer the other night. If he develops a 3-point shot, then I think I would put him at #1 here, but there's another player that improved so well that I have it #1. But yeah, Ben Simmons has been an incredible passer, an incredible defender, a very good rebounder as well. He's really efficient at the rim, but it's just his knock is his mid-range and his 3-point shooting. He doesn't take a lot of shots outside of 10 feet. 99% of his shots are from 0 to 10 feet in his career, which is just crazy to say. But yeah, Ben Simmons is going to come in at #2 here to the LA Lakers, falling 1 spot where he was originally drafted #1 overall by the 76ers. So coming in at #1 to the Philadelphia 76ers was somebody that was drafted 27th overall by the Toronto Raptors and has had probably the craziest 3-year improvement, and that is Pascal Siakam. Yep, I decided to put Pascal Siakam #1 overall in this draft. If you wanted to put Ingram or Simmons, that is fine by me, but I'm putting Pascal here. He's proving that he could be a #1 option this year, and he's averaged more than 9 points per game for the last 2 years on improvement. Now, if we did this redraft after everyone's sophomore year, we wouldn't even have had him in this video. He wouldn't even be mentioned in the lottery. But he's now averaging 25 points a night, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, and shooting 36% from 3. He's an incredibly good defender. He's a really good ball handler for somebody that is 6'9". And with Kawhi leaving, he might win Most Improved Player once again. But yeah, with the #1 overall pick in the 2016 redraft, I do have the 76ers taking Pascal Siakam. Honorable mention was Furkan Korkmaz, who I would have put at 15th. And noticeable guys that were not redrafted here were Dragan Bender, who went at 4. Marquise Chris, who went at 8, Thonmaker, who went at 10, and then Jakob Poeltl, who went at 9. So yeah, that is going to be for me. I hope you guys enjoyed my 2016 redraft. Let me know in the comments anything you disagree with, and then also let me know in the comments what redraft we should do next. But yeah, if we can get 1,000 likes on this video, I will do another redraft, and we can make this kind of a series, which would be fun. So yeah, that is going to be for me. Thank you all for watching. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys next video. Peace.